Painting your room in a bold colour can instantly transform the space, but it takes a lot of courage. Shaynna, this is something you know all about, and we've got the perfect example behind us.
Yeah, look, I think a house like that is where people get quite afraid because it's a very cute, tiny, timid sort of cottage. But what you could do to put bold colour on there is actually do the front door with a bold colour and actually have some flowers or pots out the front there and they connect to each other. Or don't do the door, just do the awning. Because the trouble is if you do the door and the awning, it becomes this long, skinny thing in this tiny little cottage. So just pick out one feature and make it really stand out.
If you've got a small, pokey room, is there colours that would work better?
Look, I think any colour works in a small pokey room. The main thing is balance. And if you're going to do bold colour on the walls, make sure that you put some bold colour on the floor, whether it's a rug or whether it's the bed linen, so it actually connects to the wall and makes the space feel bigger.
Yep, just over here. So watch all the stuff.
We're away from that time of matchy-matchy, so if you've got a bold colour on your wall, doesn't mean you have to have the same colour on your cushion or something like that. It's about linking the tone. So if you've got this really deep orange, make sure the accessories are a depth that are the same with the orange. So you might actually go for burnt orange, you might go for red, but not replicate that colour anywhere else, but get the depth of the colour right.
Should you paint just one wall in the bold colour, or should you go for all four, or perhaps two?
You know what, it's a real thing at the moment about the old, feature wall.
Feature wall.
It's not about having whether 1, 2 or 4 walls in a bold colour, it's where you position it. So if you have one singular wall, don't make it the obvious wall. I like to say put the wall behind you or on your peripheral vision, because if you just do that big statement wall in front of you, everything else disappears and it just becomes really obvious. So your peripheral vision is the walls on the side. To me, I would actually do one wall there and that becomes your feature and it brings you into the room. Or you can actually do that wall and the wall behind you connected to each other, so it creates interest when you walk into the room. So to me, that is really exciting way to use colour.
That's really interesting. And what colours do you think we can expect to see as far as trends in the next few years?
You know what, the trends this year are so interesting. It's about bringing back part of the 80s. We've seen quite a bit of salmon, a pink salmon and mint green being used together. And that was a really big thing of the 80s, so it scares me, because that's when I was there. But it's actually making it fresher, a lot mintier rather than just sort of really subdued. So those colours are coming back. We see a lot of brass and gold, so they're working together. So I think it's a trend that we may see really take on. It'll die really quickly, so I'll be watching that one.
So then, if you're going to be bold, take the step while it's still hot. What's your top tip for Interiors Addict readers?
Look, my top tip for Interiors Addict readers, when you have a trend colour, make sure that it's a colour that you love. If you don't love it, don't introduce it, and use it in areas that can change quickly or don't cost a lot of money. Trend colours on your paint colour and some really cheap cushions. Save the expensive items for items that are classic and you want to stay with you for the rest of your life.